my YouTube family. You normally don't see my face, you usually see my hands, but I asked in a poll about 2 weeks ago that I'm going to start making just in the month of July, every Saturday, one meal that we normally would eat during the week. I put a poll up to see what you would like to see me make, and that came back as chicken and dumplings. Chicken and dumplings will take a while to make, but I found an easier way and a quick version of how I make chicken and dumplings. So I'm going to turn these around because I know you don't want to look at my face. So I'm going to turn these around and I'm going to show you all the ingredients that I have to make chicken and dumplings, and it's going to be a quick version of it. So let me turn you around, show you the ingredients of what I have, and we'll start making the chicken and dumplings. Okay, to make chicken and dumplings, this is my quick version of how to make chicken and dumplings. Usually it's takes a couple hours to do, but this is a quick version. I know there's a lot of women out there, there's a lot of families out there, the mother and the dad work, and you're looking for something quick for dinner. This is about the quickest you're going to get of making chicken and dumplings. So you're going to need a big pot because you're going to do, you're going to put everything in there. I'm using frozen. This is boneless, skinless chicken breast. You can use frozen or you can use fresh, whatever you like. Seasonings. You have onion, garlic powder, ground thyme, and I forgot to bring my salt and pepper. So you have salt and pepper. A pan, because we're going to put the chicken in the pan and we're going to roast it in the oven to give it more flavor. A can of carrots, 2 big cartons of chicken broth, and this is what I make my dumplings with. Every time I try to make dumplings homemade, they just come out too dense for me. They come out nice and fluffy. So that's what we're going to do there. So I'm going to turn this way, and you put your chicken in the oven. Get all this off the stove. Alrighty. And you're going to need a little bit of olive oil just to brush onto the chicken when you put it in the oven with the seasonings. I just do salt and pepper on the chicken, and I do a little bit of olive oil and some salt and pepper, and of course I can't find my pastry brush. Alright. Alright. We're just going to have to figure out something. But set your oven to 375. Okay. And we're going to spray the pan just a little bit. Put that off to the side over there. Now we're going to use, of course it doesn't open on me. There we go. Okay. Depending on the size of the chicken is what you're going to need. So we have some nice pieces in here. Wow, this is a huge piece here. Alrighty. Hold up. It's fine. But we'll just do another piece here. So we're going to do 3 pieces of chicken. Of course, they're going to fit in the pan, right? Alright. Well, that'll have to do. We got 3 pieces of chicken. And we're going to put olive oil and your seasoning, some salt and pepper and olive oil. We're going to cover it. I'm putting my chicken back here. Okay. We're going to just add some olive oil to it while we're waiting for it to heat up. get a piece of paper towel. I don't want to touch it with my hands. And you just want to put the olive oil all around the chicken. So you have your seasonings that will stick to it. Okay, that looks good. Put that in the garbage. We're going to do some salt, pepper. Do some salt. Now it's to taste as far as the salt and pepper goes. It depends on the pieces of chicken, you know, how many people are in your family. 3 pieces of chicken, and I cube it after it's done cooking in the oven. So we are going to just cover this with some foil. Alrighty. I'm going to cover that with some foil. This is just going to give the chicken a little bit more flavor. And I'm going to move you back just a little bit. Pop it in the oven at 375 for 45 minutes. So we'll just set our timer up here for 45 minutes. So while that's cooking, you're going to need a bowl for your Bisquick, but those are going to be like last minute that we do as far as making the dumplings go. So we got our pot. Oop, sorry, I kicked my camera. I apologize for that. I did kick my camera. Okay, so we got our pot. We're going to put our pot there. We're going to get a bowl down, so when we do the dumplings, we'll just throw them right in there. And you also are going to need some cornstarch. This I just use for thickening up the gravy a little bit. And since we're going to have rice with that, I measured the rice out already in here. As you can see, there's about 5 cups of rice in here. So we will make that in a little bit. So once the chicken is done in the oven, then we'll come back and I'll show you what to do next as far as putting everything together and how to make the dumplings. Okay, my chicken was frozen because I cooked it from frozen, but it took about, on 375, it took about an hour and 15 minutes for the chicken. So you want to make sure that the chicken is cooked. So let me get a fork. Okay. All I did was just put a cut in it, and you want to make sure. Let me see if I can zoom you in so you can see that a little better. So you can see that the chicken is completely cooked inside. So we're going to put this on a plate and we're going to let it cool. Let me get, I should have had all my stuff together, I apologize. Okay, so we want the chicken to cool so we can cut it into bite-sized pieces. And we're going to shut the oven off. I'm going to get this out of the way. Put that in the sink right now. Okay. And just cover it back up with the same foil that you used to cook it in, and you want this to completely cool. So we're going to set this to the side and let it completely cool down, and when we're ready for it, I will show you how I'm going to cube it up. So the next thing we want to do is we want to get our It's a little dark. Okay. I don't know why it got dark. Okay. We're just gonna have to go with it. I don't know why all of a sudden it got dark. Alrighty, so what we're gonna do is, because this is gonna be a quick version, the chicken is what's gonna take the longest, and it's gonna take about, for the dumplings, it's gonna take about another 20 minutes for the dumplings. So, we're gonna start with our chicken stock, and we're gonna put 1 container of chicken stock in there right now. So we're just going to add that. Let me bring you over here so you can see. I don't know why it's so dark. Let me try to figure out why it's so dark, so I'll be back in a minute. Why it's so dark, so we're just going to have to go with it, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I put 1 carton, one of these cartons of chicken stock. Now we're going to open up our carrots and drain them. We got canned carrots. If you choose to use fresh carrots, you can. What I would do is, with the fresh carrots, you definitely want to cut them smaller so they'll cook quicker. But this is my quick version of how to do chicken and dumplings. So this is how I could throw a quick meal together in like less than an hour. Just draining the carrots right now. Alrighty. We got 1 can of carrots going in. Okay. There we go. Get them all out of there now. Now we're going to add our seasonings. So we're going to add onion powder. Now this, I don't measure anything, so this is going to be to your liking. If I had to measure it out, you're probably looking at maybe, in a big pot like this, 1 to 2 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon. It depends on how much you want garlic in there. I just shake it in a little bit like that. And same thing with garlic. This is a garlic powder. Normally I get the granulated garlic, but they didn't have it, so I had to go with the powder. And wrong end. Okay, there we go. And then same thing. It's about 1 to 2 teaspoons of the garlic powder. I have ground thyme. I always like to have thyme in the house when I'm cooking with chicken. And when you use the grind, you only want to use about a teaspoon. You know, a teaspoon of that, because it's really ground up. So it's like a very fine, I don't know if I can show it to you. It's like very fine in the bottle. It's not like the actual thyme that you would get. And then you just want some salt and pepper to taste. Got some salt and some pepper. That salt and pepper is to taste. And we are going to put this on the burner, and we're going to let it, all those seasonings come together. I'm going to stir it. Get a spoon here. You can see that. Move it over a little so you can see. Okay, we just want to stir it a little bit. Now, if you want to add some water in it, so if you don't want the strong chicken taste, you can do that. We like the strong chicken taste. I mean, you're going to add another carton, but we're going to thicken that up with some cornstarch. So we're going to put the lid on this. We want all those seasonings and everything to come together. So that's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes for that. So once that is done, I will come back and I will show you what it looks like. Okay, we are going to check. You can see in there, if I can tip you a little bit so you can see the pot, that it's simmering a little bit. You just want it to a low boil so you have everything that's incorporated. It took about 15 or 20 minutes to incorporate all the seasonings and everything in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that on, offset the lid, and we're going to move you over here. Sorry for alrighty. Move you down just a tiny bit, and we're going to dice up our chicken. So it cooled down a little bit, and we're going to dice up our chicken. You want it into bite-sized pieces. So still a little warm, but not that bad. So we're just going to cut it into bite-sized pieces here. This is how I make my chicken and dumplings. There's so many different recipes out there, but this seems to be the one that my family enjoys the most. So I make it like this. And then we're going to put the chicken, once we get it all diced up, we're going to put the chicken into the pot with the carrots and the rest of the seasonings. And we're going to let that simmer for about another 15 minutes. And then we're going to thicken it with our other can of stock, chicken stock we have over there. Put that over there because we don't need that. Actually, put that there, piece of that. Alrighty. And we're just going to cut this up. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm not very good at seeing, at my face in front of the camera that much, but I try to every now and then, especially for new subscribers, because I think most of the subscribers that have been on my channel for a while pretty much knew that I put a video out a couple of years ago. I think it was in 2020 when my husband was in the hospital with kidney stones, and I did a life update video. That was about 2 years ago, I believe it was. So I figured, let me show my face a little bit with the cooking one, so this way the new subscribers can see what I look like. But okay, we have our chicken all diced up, so we're gonna move you back over here. Okay. And we're going to add our chicken. Add our chicken in. Now at this point, you want it to simmer for a couple more minutes. Okay. Now with this, you could put celery, however you like, whatever vegetables. Everybody in our house prefers the carrots. I have made it with celery, but I didn't have any celery in the house today, so that's why I didn't put any in. So we got the chicken in. Now we're going to let that simmer so the chicken picks up some of that chicken stock flavor, and we're going to let that simmer for about another 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it went blurry for a second. So this is what it looks like so far. My daughter-in-law here is going to help. I have another box of chicken stock here we're going to mix that with some cornstarch. And let me just turn the camera over this way. Okay, there we go. And I like to use cornstarch because it gives it a glossy finish to like your gravies and things that you want to thicken up. And I like that better than the actual flour. The flour you would have to cook out more than the cornstarch. Put that in. I'm going to do whole box. I got my big mixing bowl out here, measuring cup. And I'm gonna turn that up in a minute. And that is, I don't know, a 32, it's 1.5 cups. So we're gonna do, I use 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna do 4, and we're gonna mix it up. We're gonna turn up our, now it's gonna feel like glue on the bottom when you mix it, but this mixes through way better than flour. You don't get the lumps like flour does, and that's one of the reasons too that I like using the cornstarch, because you don't have the lumps of flour in there. It just gives it a smooth consistency, and just mix it all together. Okay, we don't want to thicken it up completely with the cornstarch and the flour, because when we do our dumplings, it's going to thicken it up even more. So we got this all done. We're going to turn that up, put the lid back on that for a minute. Okay, there we go. We're going to put the lid on that, and then we're going to finish mixing that up there. And once this comes up to a boil, we put it up high because I want it to come up to a boil, and then we can add the more stock with the cornstarch in it that we're making. And then while that's going and cooking through, we'll turn it down a little bit and let it cook through, and then we'll start on our dumplings. The dumplings are easy. I use Bisquick for dumplings because I try to make my own homemade dumplings, and they come out way too dense. I like these. They come out like little pillows. They puff up. They're fluffy and light, and that's what I like. Okay. We're like almost there. Almost there to that. I got some cornbread in the oven. It's just boxed cornbread. We threw it together. They can have that on the side with the chicken and dumplings. And I'm going to make the rice. Our rice, I use instant rice. In a box. Thank you. I use instant rice. What this is you do rice and water is the same. So if you're going to make, like, say 2 cups of rice, then you need 2 cups of water. And then I don't like the sticky rice. I like, like fluffy rice. So I'm going to make like 5 cups of rice. I already got that measured out. And all you do is put 5 cups of water in the pot. You add your rice once it boils. You turn off the heat, put a lid on it. I push it to the back and let it sit for about 15 minutes, and you got nice fluffy rice. You fluff it with a fork, and it comes out really nice. So that's how we like our rice. I'm not a big fan of sticky rice. I've tried it, and I'm just not a big fan of it. All right, so we're almost to a boil here. So we're going to okay, there we go. We're almost to a boil, so we're going to add that, and then we're going to start on our go ahead. just pour it all in. There we go. And see, we got no lumps whatsoever. So, and then this, what it looks like, and we're going to let that, we're going to turn it down and let it do what it needs to do. Now we're going to make dumplings. So I'm going to come swing you over this way a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to do it there. Let me get some milk out of the fridge because you need milk to make the biscuits. So this I don't measure. I just...
Do you want to use the rest of that?
Yeah, thank you. Oh, cornbread's done. You have to take a look and see what the cornbread looks like. So, probably about another 3 or 4 minutes. It's not completely done. So I'll go 4. It takes 16 to 18 minutes. We put it in for about 15, and then we like to check it. But that's just box corn mix that we just you know, make it by the package, what it says on the package. And then we just pop it in the oven, just like to have like a quick side with the chicken and dumplings. I'm going to do about half of this bag. Okay. I'm going to do about half of that. And you have to put a clip on that, so I'm just going to stick that in there for right now. And the milk, I just add a little bit at a time. And I work it in, and then when I get the right consistency, then I just drop them into our soup, into our chicken there with our chicken and dumplings. This is how, you don't want it dry. So if I had to say, if half a box, I would say it's like maybe 2 small box like that. I would say maybe 2 cups, 2.5 cups of the Bisquick. And if I had to measure out the milk, I would say maybe about 3/4 of a cup of milk to a cup of milk. I don't measure anything. I've been cooking since I was 12. When my mother left, I was the only girl in the house doing all the cooking and the cleaning. And she taught me how to make these when I was about 8 or 9 years old. So I think I might have put a little bit too much milk. So I might have to add a little bit more Bisquick. That's what's forgiven about these, that if you add a little bit too much milk, you just add a little more Bisquick. So no, maybe not. Just got to work it in better. Yep, you just want, and you want to plop them down. And yep, there we go. Okay, now we're gonna move you over. Moving you over here. I'm stuck. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, and we're going to put the dumplings in. All you have to do is just do like spoonfuls, and you just dump them right in like that. Drop them in. And they come out like nice fluffy. Oop, I just made a mess. Maybe it is a little bit too runny. Okay, well, not going to come out the way I want it to, but that's okay. They're not quite falling apart, but okay. And we gotta check the thing.
They'll be okay for a sec.
Alrighty. And we're just going, these are gonna take in the hot broth, these are gonna take about 15 to 20 minutes to cook. But what I do is I do like 10 or 15 minutes. Oh great, I just made a mess again. Oh. If it ain't a messy kitchen, then it can't be taste good. So, yeah, these are not coming out the way I wanted to. Oh well, that's alright. I think I just made them a little bit. That's okay though. They'll still cook. It's just that they're gonna be smaller dumplings instead of big dumplings. Alrighty. Morgan, I just made another mess on the side here. I have to, it's on the side of the pot, I have to wipe it up. Alrighty. Yeah.
As long as it's on the stove, it's fine.
Okay. So we're going to do that. And I made a mess here. And we're gonna off-center the lid. And we're gonna give it 15 minutes. And then when that's done, I'll come back and I'll show you what I do with that. Okay, we're gonna, all our dumplings, you can see how it looks like in there. They come out like nice and like pillowy like. What I like to do to make sure they cook on both sides is I like to flip them over. So, I should have had the dough maybe a little, there we go. That goes for like one, it goes into one big one, but once you flip them over, you got, let me see if I could try to grab one for you before it cooks. See how they get nice and pillowy. So now, since they're all flipped over, we got them all flipped, I believe. We are going to see it thickens up. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn it down just a little bit, and we're going to put the lid off-centered, and we're going to let them cook for about another 5 to 10 minutes. And then we have our water on for our rice, and once that's done, I will put a bowl together and show you what it looks like. Okay, sorry about that. It got a little blurry, but this is how it thickened up, and we got chicken and dumplings here, and we're going to put some in the bowl. We got some dumplings we're going to put there, and we got a couple of small ones that fell apart in here, which is fine. Now you could top this off with some grated cheese if you like. I made some cornbread, and we're just going to put that in the side. Cornbread is falling apart. Now I just made a mess. Alrighty. But that's what the finished product looks like. You can put some grated cheese on the top, or you can eat it just like that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit chaotic, and I apologize for that. But if you like this video, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you as part of the YouTube family. If you go out, please stay safe. Always remember to believe in yourself. I love you all. Take care, everyone. Bye.